Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing a Mystery Science Theater build update, sort of. I haven't really been keeping up with me building these guys. Crow's over there. I'll do a separate video talking about both of them and like the challenges and the parts it took and stuff. There's a lot of videos out there talking about what you need and like some of what the parts are, and I'll show you some of the parts I've collected that are like actual used parts. Some of these are cast and replicas, just used, just because I don't want to ruin the original parts and stuff since they're hard to come by. But I'll talk about a few things which I'm working on with Tom right here that still need to be done that I have parts for. I just need to finish them. And right now it's snowing heavily in Texas and not allowing me to paint very much. And so, well, starting with the project which I took over this wintry slurry. This is the engine block which goes on Tom. These are made separate because they will be sprayed chrome. Now, yes, they are not perfect. I did sculpt most of this. I know that. And there are some things I'm still tweaking and I'm sanding. But overall, um, this piece, the engine block, came off of a toy car that for a long time no one knew what it was. No one could find one, and they're still very extremely hard to find. I think only a handful of them have been found. Like you had the original that they used on Tom originally, and I'm assuming they would make cast off of that original one. Um, Maybe some of those casts got out, and that's how other builders got them, or they scratch built them. I'm not entirely sure, but I scratch built mine. It's not perfect. There's flaws. There's things not entirely straight, but for my purposes, it's completely fine. The back is main body, the black and white. This is some white Sentra that was painted black for another project, and so that's why there's the black on there. I have a local bot builder and stuff who sold me my crow hockey mask that goes on the back of his head, which you can sort of see. And he was gracious enough to take pictures with measurements because after doing a lot of research on it, it is very hard to find actual measurements. So I will kind of move this on here so you guys can kind of get a scope for the scale. If you guys are wanting to make your own, you guys can just pause the video. And now these are pretty close, but do not hold me to it because like the videos, like the pictures he sent were not perfect, but they are pretty dang good. Um, something like this, the amount of people who would actually know are so minuscule, and the fact that they won't know the exact measurements. These are close enough. Um, but I hope maybe some of this will help some of y'all. At least it'll give you some different angles to look at. You see, like the backs aren't even cleaned up on these. I may take a rotary tool and then just come in and hog out the back of that, make it all flat. And this will have to be primed still and some spots filled, but I'll also do a overhead. It's about that big. Hope that helps. And I've even thought about vacuum forming this. I would have to take off the exhaust. That's how most models come in this. If you get resin copies, most likely the exhaust vents will be off of it, and these little vent switch. I messed up a little bit on these things, and like spacing wise, they should be shifted over a tad. That's fine. Again, that doesn't really bother me that much. I messed up a little bit. This thing should be a little thinner. Again, I did not care. I'm just trying to finish this. This is my Tom and his barrel came from, I forget the guy's name. He sells kits on Etsy, and I was able to finally get a hold of him after a while. He'd apparently been offline, and there's not very many part builders out there. And then, like a week later, I was able to find an actual money lever barrel at a um, antique store, which I'll show in another video. Some of the last things I have to do with him is I have my hover skirts, which I got from a gentleman on the Facebook group. Oh, I forget the name, but if you just look like MST3K build bot builders or something, they'll pop up. We're a small group, but we are like the last of the people who still do it. There used to be a Yahoo builders group, but that just got shut down a few weeks ago after years of it being up on the air. But just not many people build these guys anymore, which kind of sucks. I got into it later than I liked, but I also have the money now to do it. I got started by finding this at an estate sale. I'm briefly having it. I was like, that reminds me of something. I got it. This is also the horizontal split dome, which means this is an original. Like Tom, if you look in the shows, the seam runs this way. The newer ones they produce, the seam goes like this. So a little bit to look out for. Hands I also got from the same guy who sold me these, and Crow's soap dish right there. I also sculpted these hands. They're not perfect, but again, they work for what I do. And you may also see them. This is another project where I can go over if you want. This is the Mystery Science Theater planet. Now, some of these letters I think are a little too big, but that's fine. The ball is an old globe, which I found at like a garage sale or thrift store or something, which then I covered in spray adhesive and I put yarn on it to give it like the texture, because I've seen some other people do that. Didn't really care for it that much, so I used this tissue paper and Mod Podge technique, kind of like paper mache. I really like the texture it gives off. I've used it on other projects before, like my monorail Matterhorn. But it creates a hard surface, and you just take toilet paper and then you just stipple it on with the like a sponge brush, and then it creates all the waves and stuff. And yeah, you can see there's some little seams and stuff, but overall, not bad. And then I sculpted all the letters, and if you look at the actual one, they don't look very good. They look handmade, so that's what I try going for in this, and that's why I like things are like you got weird side things. The circles are not all even, and so I thought I did pretty good on that. And then I painted it all gray, and then I dry brushed it with some whites, and then I put an eye hook, and so it will hang up from my ceiling, probably maybe next to my Nautilus. But overall, that's what we talked about. If you have any other questions about it, shoot me some messages, and I'll be sure to try to help you out, because this is a hard piece to get or make without spending like $50 on a replica. So thank y'all.